Hey guys, welcome back to Shadowrun Dragonfall. Last time we finished up Iga's quest, and we did the pharmaceutical company as well. This time, this time, it's our Sweet Sweet Glory's quest. Her quest being save children from orphanage, kill man who worships the devil. Let's do this. Take the van. Come on, Glory. Fuestel. The drive from the Cruise Bazaar to the Schonbuck Forest was a long one. For over 6 hours, you and Gloria rode in relative silence, with only the sound of the road for company. Now you find yourself crouching in the wood, watching, waiting. Off in the distance, the rustic exterior of Fuestel looks curiously warm and inviting. But you know what's waiting inside. The anticipation churns at your guts like a living thing. Eventually, a van pulls out of the compound's driveway and rolls out along a service road before disappearing from view. Gloria gives you a nod and begins to scramble forward. Harrow has left the building. It's time for you to make your way inside. Let's do this. Right, what have you got, Glory? You got a pistol, 12, medium, 15. Let's also give you that. How about that? The weathered edifice of Fuestel looms above you, dark and sinister in the chill night air. Despite the horrifying stories that Glory told you about this place, something about it feels strangely comforting. In the back of your mind, insidious voices whisper that you could stay here forever. Do you feel it, the lore of this place? Glory gestures with a limb of chrome and steel. When I was a kid, when I was whole, the pull was irresistible. Yeah, I feel it, but it doesn't change what we have to do. No, it doesn't. She looks at you. Her eyes are dark. When she speaks again, her voice is quiet but steady. You're going to see some terrible things in this place, Wolf. Fuestel exists to prey on the young, and we're going to have to come face to face with that. Are you sure you're prepared for this? I'm solid. She studies your face for a moment longer, then looks away. Good. You want to compare notes? Make sure that we're both on the same page? She nods. We take Harrow out of commission. You were right when you said that we couldn't afford to let him live. Even if we completely destroyed this place, it'd all be for nothing if he got away. He'd just start another cult somewhere else. We kill Harrow, yeah, but I think we should try and save the cultists here too. Planning on that would be a mistake. This is going to be difficult enough as it is. If we don't focus our efforts on one thing or the other, we're going to fail at both. If we get an opportunity to rescue some cultists along the way, we'll take it. That goes without saying. But barring that, we should stay focused on killing Harrow. In that case, forget about Harrow. Saving the cultists is more important. She pauses. You know what you're saying, right? If we focus on saving these runaways, Harrow is going to escape. I'm almost certain of it. Can you live with the possibility of slipping away, out of our reach? Can you justify taking the risk that he'll disappear and start this all over again? I'm not sure that I can. If we prioritize killing Harrow, the people he's brainwashed into joining his cult could die tonight. That trumps what might happen in some hypothetical future. Slowly she nods. All right, I'll admit it. I was torn about this myself. As much as I want Harrow dead, I don't want any other street kids to have to go through what I experienced here. If we can spare even one of them that horror, all of this will be worth it. So how should we go about this? Harrow keeps a shrine in the compound. It's the key to his control over the cultists. We're going to purify the shrine and break that control, and then we're going to lead those kids out of here. Tell me more about the shrine. It's a lump of rock about as tall as I am, inscribed with runes and encrusted with bone. Its power comes from an entity that Harrow bound into the into the stone. Something very old and very dangerous. A toxic spirit. In many ways, it's the heart of this place. The voices that you can hear whispering in the back of your mind, those are the spirit's voices. It saps the will of anyone who sets foot on these grounds. We can't save those kids until the shrine is dealt with. They'll fight us if we try. So let's shout out a few more details. That makes sense. If you've got any questions, it'd be best if you ask them now. Why didn't we talk about this whilst we were waiting for him to leave? How do we purify the spirit? Some sort of ceremony or ritual? Something like that. It'll be easy to just show you. I've got everything we need right here. She pats the satchel that hangs from his shoulder. When the time comes, I'll conduct the ritual. But before I can do that, we're going to have to face the spirit on its own terms, and that's going to be dangerous, Wolf. If the shrine controls the people here, then how do you have anything to feel guilty about? Nothing that you did under Harrow was really your fault. Her face flushes red, and she breaks eye contact with you. I wish that were true, but it isn't. Back before I ran away, Fuestel was nothing more than a cult of personality that revolved around Harrow. He didn't need magical help to keep us here. We loved him, and we believed in his message. He created the shrine as an insurance policy. And you think that something's changed, and he started abusing the shrine's power? Yes, and I think that my escape was the cause of that change. I know Harrow. When I ran, I bruised his ego. His charisma and charm had failed him, and my disappearance rubbed his nose in that failure. He wouldn't be willing to chance something like that again, not when he had the means to prevent it. So the cultists here, they're like puppets? The shrine controls them? Not exactly, it's more insidious than that. Think of the shrine's influence as a drug. It lowers your inhibitions, makes you compliant. If you were to stay here for a couple of days, you'd fall in love with the place, and you wouldn't even know why. All of Harrow's bullshit would start to make sense. You'd be happy. In essence, all of the street kids that are addicted to this place. That makes them a threat, yes, but it also makes them victims. Why attempt to purify the spirit? Why not just kill it? The spirit has its fingers in the minds and auras of every kid in that compound. If we kill it, those kids will get hurt. They might even be killed. We can't take that risk, but if we can cleanse the adversary's corruption from it, it might withdraw from their minds willingly. And then we can get them out of here. Exactly. I'm with you. Let's do it. Okay. Let's have a little gander. I assume there's literally nothing I can do. Okay, let's go in. For anything else, I'm going exploring. And if I get into a fight, I'm reloading. That's how this works. Fucking hell, it's a big place. Okay, and then that leads back down there. It looks as though this terminal is used exclusively for financial transactions. After a bit of digging, you find a list of payoffs to local law enforcement, paid by Harrow, no doubt, to ensure that the police look the other way. An ostentatiously large tome sits cradled on the pedestal. The paper is robust and fibrous, and the binding has been expertly stitched. A steel plate running along the book's spine anchors it to the pedestal. Glory stares down at it, frowning. Harrow's manifesto, the handcrafted line of bullshit that he feeds to his initiates. We all ate it up with a smile, and came away convinced that he was a genius. She leafs through the pages with an articulated finger. Looks like he's expanded it over the last few years. It's at least twice as thick as it was when I lived here. Maybe there's something in here we can use. I wouldn't want to hang around long enough to find out. This is Harrow's personal library. He used to experiment in here. There were dangerous things in here, Wolf. Sick things. I was never allowed in this room without Harrow. Nobody was. He said that for our safety, and I think he said that it was for our safety, and I think he was telling the truth. I feel uneasy being in here. I don't want to stay any longer than we have to. I've been on edge since we came in here, but that doesn't change the fact that we should learn what we can. Alright, I'll watch you back, but try to be quick. Leaf through the beginnings of the manifesto. You flip through the early pages of the manifesto and find what looks like a good place to jump in and start to read. When I first set out on the path to free living, I realized that I'd have to rethink all of my earlier assumptions about life. I'd have to question my own values and beliefs, and I'd need the strength to trust in the answers that came to me. The prospect was daunting, but it was also necessary. The road to true freedom is paved with unanswered questions. After all, you can't learn to be free from a book. The answers won't come from a Bible, an instruction manual, or a code of conduct. If you don't learn that, you'll never break your chains. The path to true freedom is one that each of us must walk on his or her own. What makes life worth living? What in life can truly be valuable, and what is the dross that can be burned away? I spent weeks dissecting every aspect of my life to find the answers to these questions. Slowly, agonizingly, I pared down the list until only 4 items remained. These 4 items became the cornerstones of my new philosophy and the basis for everything that Furstel stands for. Love, the first cornerstone and the most important. Without love, life is bland and meaningless. Without love, we might as well be machines. Love what you do, love the people around you, but above all, love yourself. Self-determination, the second cornerstone. Each of us must be his or her own shepherd, no more gods and no more kings. Your life is your own. Lash out against anyone or anything that tries to treat you like property. An assault on your freedom is an assault on your whole being, and it must be met with an equally ferocious response. Charity, the third cornerstone. A miserly life is an empty life. If each of us is his or her own master, then nobody should live as a serf. By helping others along the path to enlightenment, so do we enrich our own lives. Passion, the final cornerstone. Complacency is poison. Be wary of it. Ambition is the key to a fulfilling life. Don't settle for what is. If you do, you abandon what could be. You hear a rustling sound behind you. Glory. Turning, you can see a troubled look on her face. That ominous feeling is getting stronger, Wolf. It feels like we're being watched. Leafing through the middle of the book, you find a section dedicated to Harrow's rules of living. Be free. Be free in all things, and experience that freedom with your whole body, mind, and spirit. Discard the oppressive traditions of modesty and shame that you've been indoctrinated with since birth. The free thinker has no use for them. Your body is a source of pride, of pleasure, and of succor, for yourself and for others. Enjoy it, and share that joy freely with those who desire it. Be selfish. Don't enslave yourself to others at the expense of your own happiness. Take what you want, and do so unashamedly. Our desires are an important part of what makes us human. Society has trained us to hide that part of ourselves from the world, but the free living person doesn't cower in the shadows. Own your desires and rejoice in them. Selflessness is ultimately dishonest, and dishonesty has no place in a free society. Show reverence. The free living person understands that the only true governance in this world is the law of nature, and that in nature there is a hierarchy. The rabbit doesn't question the wolf, the mouse does not wonder why it must run from the cat. They do because they must. Their survival depends on it. As it is in nature, so it is at Furstel. Know your place in the food chain, and understand the mechanisms by which you can better yourself. You leaf forward and find that there are at least 20 more pages worth of rules. Each is worded vaguely enough to have multiple interpretations. You hear another rustling sound, Glory moving behind you. She stares down at the rules of living, a look of disgust on her face. Oh, I wish I had an academic. I doubt if there's a single statement in here that isn't contradicting somewhere else. Clear, simple rules with a focus on instant gratification. I can see why this would be appealing to a street kid. That's what Harrow wrote them for, and he mined an entire library's worth of 60s counterculture essays, New Age self-help books, and cult manifestos to do it. There isn't a single original idea in this thing. that only matters to the people who know that it's stolen. Glory freezes up, her shoulders hunch and her eyes narrow. Wolf, that ominous feeling is getting closer. There's something in the room with us, I'm sure of it. We need to get out of here now. Keep an eye out. I have to finish this. There might be something in here we need. The final pages of the manifesto dissolve into semi-cohesive rants about anarchy, social Darwinism, free love, and the horned god. You've seen this kind of thing before. Harrow's philosophy is collapsing under its own weight. Unfortunately, none of his cultists seem to have caught up onto that fact. Done. The philosophy of Harrow's really starts to break down. Glory lets out a startled cry, cutting your sentence short. Out of the corner of your eye, you see her wheel to face something behind you. All at once, the room fills with a slaughterhouse smell, a smell like blood and bile and feces, the stench of an abattoir. As you turn, you catch sight of something sliding into the world. It looks like a charred man, with a pair of tortured faces where his shoulders should be. The thing burns like a Roman candle, spitting white-hot sparks in a fiery plume. An oily substance runs down between its dangling legs and spatters on the floor, and where the drips land, they burn. Wolf, look out! You missed, you idiot! Do you think fire will work on it? It did, hooray. And lightning? The body of the thing that attacked you begins to dissolve at the moment of its death. As you watch, its tissues break down into a growing slick of bubbling pitch and rendered fat. The hell was that? Something from another place. Glory stares at the remains of the creature, now a dank stain on the library's floorboards. Floorboards? Like I said outside, the boundaries between the physical world and the astral space are weak here. Things can come through. A headless abomination just pissed lighter fluid onto the floor and then tried to burn us to death. I think that things can come through is underselling it a bit. She shrugs. Semantics. Now, can we please get out of here before it happens again? Yes, we can. Okay, well that was fun. Let's go see what else this place has in store for us, shall we? Why is there no people, by the way? As you open the refrigerator door, a whiff of ammonia sticks in your nostrils. Watery light glints off of the door's polished interior. The fridge is stacked full of large plastic bins, all tightly sealed and neatly labelled. It's hard to tell through the opaque plastic, but they appear to be full of meat. You pop the lid off a container and take a closer look. The first thing that hits you is the smell. The meat in here is beyond rancid. White mould frosts the sides of the bin, and it's all that you can do to keep from gagging. As you rush to put the lid back on, you recognize a familiar shape in the rotten meat, a mangled human hand. Is that what I think it is? Glory's voice is flat. Ritual supplies. The adversary prefers them aged. Harrow teaches all of the initiates how to do it. How to harvest the meat, how to store it, how to label it. No one likes doing it at first, but you learn. By the end, it doesn't even bother you anymore. This is beyond fucked. We need to shut this place down. Rescuing the initiates will put a dent in Harrow's operation for a while. At least they'll be safe. Come on, let's keep moving. Quite like the music in this place. Little bathroom, very nice, very nice. This is the Initiate's dormitory. The new arrivals are brought here. There's still hope for these kids, Wolf. Harrow hasn't had a chance to ruin them yet. Though we need to stop him before he could. Glory raises her hand and suddenly alerts. Wait, listen. Movement in the other room. You strain your ears. Soft voices from inside the room come drifting out of a nearby vent. You hear a woman's voice. The sound of it's crisp and smooth and sweet, and it instantly puts you at ease. Calm now, dear. It's probably nothing. No need to worry yourself. We're so far off the beaten track, we don't get a lot of visitors. Out of the corner of your eye, you can see Glory's back stiffen. She flinches as though she's been stung. Another voice, high-pitched and pleading, an adolescent boy. But what if it is someone? What if the bad people have found us? What if they followed me here and they've come to... The female voice cuts in, soft and comforting. Well then, we'll send them away. You're perfectly safe here. You have to believe that. Don't worry, dear heart. Harrow won't ever let anyone hurt you. Not here, in this place, not ever again. You hear another boy's voice, this one deeper. Are you certain, Marta? Positive. Be calm, all of you. As long as you're here with us, nothing bad will ever happen to you. It's her, the girl who lured you here. She gives a curt nod. That's right, Marta. The bait that Harrow used to draw me to this place. What do you want to do? Glory pauses, grits her teeth. Finally, she spits out an answer. I don't know. If she's still here, she'll be Harrow's number one, my old position. He had his way with all of us, but he was always sweet on Marta. Part of me wants to kill her. She's the reason why a lot of the kids wound up here, including me. She grits her teeth, and the razors flick out of her fingertips. A second later, she retracts them. But there isn't time. This isn't what we're here for. You're right, we can deal with Marta later, after we've accomplished what we came here to do. Marta's voice floats back through the vents. Hush now, boys, and get some rest. You've got a big day tomorrow, the biggest day of your lives. You get to meet Harrow. I promise you, after you speak with him, you'll see a whole world in a different way, a better way. The adolescent voice trembles in response. All right, Marta, have a good night. A lovely musical laugh pours through the vents. You too, dear heart, all of you. You hear the distant sound of a door sliding shut. Let's go, Wolf. We need to deal with that shrine. So, can I save and walk in? And if I do, what happens? I can't. Okie doke. Oh, a garage. Glory pauses at the side of the van. She traces the side of it with a claw. I remember cruising in the back alleys of the Tübingen, looking for the kids in need of help. The bait girls, Marta and the others like her, would offer them money or food or drugs or sex, whatever it took to get them in the van. And once they piled in, Harrow and I would be waiting to greet them. I remember so many nights like that. I remember how much I used to enjoy it. Coming back here shows integrity, Glory. Most runners that I know wouldn't have done what you're doing tonight. Left to my own devices, I probably wouldn't have. You pushed me to do this, to find some semblance of redemption. I owe you for that. You don't owe me anything. Tell yourself whatever you like. We both know the truth. Let's keep moving. What does the music remind me of? It reminds me of, like, Valheim sometimes. I don't know why. You hear voices speaking in low tones through the wood of the door. You can't make out the words, but the regular choruses of rough laughter tell you that the people on the other side are enjoying themselves. Those voices belong to Harrow's acolytes. They'll have some magical training, and they like hurting people. You open that door, and we're going to have a fight on our hands. How do you know they're acolytes? Process of elimination? Initiates aren't allowed in that room. It's one of Harrow's rules. On the rare occasion that the initiate is invited in, he usually doesn't come back out again. What happens in there? It's a sort of lounge for Harrow's inner circle. The acolytes and the bait girls and Harrow's wives. Marta and I used to spend a lot of time in there. Do I want to kill the people? Were there any other doors first? There was one more. You can hear distant murmuring sound coming from inside the room. Voices, 3, maybe 4 people talking amongst themselves. You can't make out what they're saying, but one of the voices sounds desperate. You've heard the tone before. It's the sound of a man pleading for his life. We should keep moving. Whatever's going on in there, we don't want to get involved. Getting involved's the entire reason we came here. Yes, it is, but the cultists in there have been brainwashed by Harrow. Whatever they're doing in there, it isn't happening of their own accord. After we've purified the shrine, then we can intervene. But if we go in there now, they're going to attack us, and we're going to have to kill them. That's not what I came here to do. All right. The doorway shimmers with a faint light. As you approach the door, you can feel a squirming sensation in the back of your skull. Your limbs begin to tingle, then feel heavy. The closer that you get to the doorway, the more of a struggle it is to continue moving forward. It feels as though the strength is being siphoned from your body. Fight through it. You grit your teeth and lean forward, forcing your heavy limbs to move through sheer force of will. As you near the doorknob, it begins to glow red. Crackling sparks leap from the glowing brass, and the crisp smell of ozone fills the air. You wrestle an arm up from where it hangs at your side and reach for the sparking doorknob. A moment later, you feel a cold metal hand grasp your shoulder. Glory. She speaks a single word. Don't. Grab it! You seize the doorknob and a white-hot burst of pain screams through your arm and into your shoulder. Involuntarily, you jerk back. As your hand breaks contact with the doorknob, your eyes are stabbed by a bright flash of red light. Your nostrils clog with the stench of burning meat. Glory takes you by the shoulder and pulls you close. Your entire body trembles in agony. I told you not to touch that. The door's warded. Next time, you should listen to me. I'll keep that in mind. Eventually, the trembling in your limbs begins to subside, taking the pain along with it. Glory releases you and steps back. I'll live. The shrine room is through there, but the barrier wasn't here before. Harrow must have warded the doorway after I ran. How do we get through? The ward is like a lock. There must be a key. And I know who has it. There's only one person here that Harrow could offer it to. Marta. Looks like we're going to have to confront her after all. Let's go. I'm wounded 10 though. Open the door. Hello, kids. The initiate closest to the door whips his head up to look at you. He takes a stutter step backwards in alarm, then opens his mouth to cry for help. You don't want to do that. Glory looks down in the initiate's eyes, transfixing him. We're not here to hurt you. If we wanted to kill you, you'd already be dead. You lived on the street. You know how this works. Slowly, the initiate seems to calm down. Yeah, you're right. But if you don't want to hurt anyone, why are you here? We just want to have a word with Marta. A private word between old friends, understand? Yeah, that's cool, I guess. The initiate by the door is staring at Glory's limbs, her eyes wide. She's a mousy little thing, probably somewhere in the vicinity of 17 years old, with purple contact lenses and a shock of blue hair. She glances up at Glory, blinking. You used to live here, didn't you? I've seen your picture before. Really? I think so. I didn't look at it long. It was in that room that I wasn't supposed to be in, but I'm pretty sure it was you. It probably was. You're right. I did live here, a long time ago. I was like you back then. A scared kid brought here by Marta for a chance at a new life. I like Marta. She's so nice. I always feel safe when I'm with her. Most adults aren't like that. But they either don't notice you, or they do for the wrong reasons. But Marta, she cares about us. There's a long pause, and then the initiate looks up to you. Screwing up her courage, she speaks. Can I ask you a question? I overheard Marta talking with Mr. Harrow yesterday. I think that they were talking about our meeting with him, the one that Marta was just telling us about, where we'll learn to see the world in a different way. Well, I couldn't really hear the whole conversation. It was all muffled, but what I could hear was kind of weird. Mr. Harrow said some stuff about a shrine, and then it sounded like he changed the subject because he started talking about dinner. Something about chopping up meat. Well, Marta got real upset. Said, they're too new, they're not ready. Make the older ones do it, stuff like that. But then Mr. Harrow said some other things. And then she calmed down again, and when she left she was smiling. So I was just wondering, do you know what they were talking about? I want to make sure that Marta's okay, but I can't ask her about it because I don't want her to find out that I was eavesdropping. I think I know what Harrow has planned for you. Have you ever opened the fridge in the other room? No, why? Is that where we're going to make dinner? Glory guts in. Her voice is gentle. I wouldn't worry about it. We'll make sure that Marta's okay. All right, but don't tell her that I told you, please. Don't worry, we won't. How long have you been here, by the way? Almost a week. She shuffles her feet. Eventually, she looks up with a small smile. It's wonderful. Of course it is. So much nicer than living on the street, isn't it? You be good, sweetie. Don't you worry. We'll take care of Marta. The girl smiles sheepishly and steps back. As you pass by her on your way to the door, Glory shoots you a sidelong glance. It's like I thought. Things have changed in the past few years. Back when I lived here, Harrow would never have let such a fresh convert prepare a sacrifice. He'd wait until she was in so deep, until she felt so indebted to him that she couldn't turn tail and run. It was a rule. You let newcomers get settled for a month, maybe two, before teaching them the more unsavory aspects of cult life. Even then, you'd start them off slow. Their first lessons would use pork or chicken, never human meat. That didn't come until much later. Indoctrinating a new recruit after a week is risky as hell, and he never would have done it when I lived here. The shrine. He's using it to brainwash the initiates faster than he used to. That's what I'm thinking. Harrow's getting lazy, letting his captive spirit do the heavy lifting for him. So what does that mean for us? I'm still working on that, but I don't think that the shrine is just a tool for Harrow anymore. I think that he relies on it. He's using it as a crutch. She cocks her head slightly, a thoughtful expression on her face. I think that he let himself become dependent on the damn thing. Good. If the shrine's influence is the only thing keeping the kids here, that'll make our job a lot easier. She nods, a fierce look in her eye. On that we agree. Marta's just on the other side of this door. However this goes, we're going to have to move quickly afterwards. If she dies, Harrow will know it, and I don't trust her to keep her mouth shut if she lives. So we take the key to the shrine room, break through the ward, and confront the spirit. Are we clear on that? Crystal, let's do this. What up, Bubba bitch? The woman in this room is lovely. Full lips contrast artfully with her fine elvish features, and a tumble of fire red hair spills down over her shoulders. Beyond her physical beauty, there's something inherently approachable about her. She exudes an almost palpable aura of kindness and warmth. Marta, Glory's old lover, the lure that Harrow used to draw her, and so many others, to Fuestel. She looks up with a start at the sound of your approach. Her eyes go wide at the sight of Glory. As she takes in her cyberware, her mouth falls open in horror. Glory? Yes, Marta, it's me. It's been a long time. It has. Marta swallows. The horrified look hasn't left her face. Glory, what have you done to yourself? What I had to do. I got out, Marta. This was the only way. Oh, Glory. All at once, the horror on Marta's face is replaced with an expression of profound sorrow. I'm so sorry. Marta steps forward, arms extended to wrap Glory in a hug. All at once, something in Glory's face changes. Her skin goes from pale to pallid, and her breath becomes ragged. She takes a step back and raises her claws into a defensive posture. Her voice frosts over with cold rage. Don't you touch me. You're one of Harrow's creatures. You always were. Marta stops short. One of his creatures? Glory, what are you talking about? You know as well as I do. You worship that monster. You seduced me into coming here so that I would worship him. If you hadn't found me, if you hadn't baited me, none of this would have happened. None of what? I haven't done anything. If you'd just left me where you found me, I never would have hurt anybody. My mother would still be alive. I never would have sold my soul to that abomination that you all worship, and I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my own body to escape from it. This place took everything from me, and it all started with you. She looks genuinely hurt. Harrow and I rescued you from a life on the street. A beautiful girl, homeless, penniless, living in a gutter. I pulled you away from all of that. I saved you. There's a long pause. Glory stares into Marta's eyes, her expression unreadable. I don't feel much anymore, Marta. Most of the time, I'm completely numb. But for you, I can make an exception. I hate you. I'm sorry you feel that way, Glory. For my part, I still love you. The razors flick out of Glory's fingertips. Her lip curls into a snarl. Another lie. The last one you'll ever tell. I don't think she's lying, or at least she doesn't think so. She believes what she's saying. That's because it's true. I'll prove it to you. The words come stammering out of her. Her eyes are fixed on Glory's razors. Ask me anything you want. I'll show you that I'm telling the truth. I never wanted anything to happen to you, Glory. Not ever. She wheels to face you. Why are you listening to her? She's just telling you what you want to hear. That's her whole purpose here, remember? She's bait. Why should we listen to anything she has to say? Knowing how the shrine is affecting her mind might help us, Glory. She fumes at you, but only for a moment. You might be right. Marta looks from you to Glory, a confused expression on her face. Her voice goes quiet. There's nothing wrong with my mind, Glory. I don't even understand what you two are talking about. No, of course you don't. I understand your interest in learning more about this, Wolf, but we're wasting time and we need to get that key. If Harrow gets back here before we've dealt with that shrine, we're fucked. I spent enough time on the street to learn how to read a person, and I'm telling you, Marta loves those kids. Bullshit. You're falling into the same trap that I did. Marta holds her silence. She looks at you with wet, lustrous eyes. I don't think she wants to hurt anybody, Glory. Some part of her doesn't understand what this place really is. Glory stares at you for a moment, naked hostility on her face. Then the razors slide back into their housings with a click. All right, Marta, convince me. Convince you of what? That I'm not a monster? I don't know how to do that, Glory. You can start by telling me how you sleep at night. You know what happens to the kids that you bring here. You know what happened to me, but you're still luring them here into Harrow's clutches after all these years. So tell me, how do you live with yourself? Explain it to me. For a moment, you can see the conflict behind Marta's eyes. If cognitive dissonance had a face, it would be hers. Confused, frightened, angry, at war with herself. For a moment, she struggles to speak. Then the whispering sensation that you felt outside of the compound comes back, and her face changes. The muscles of her brow relax, and she appears to be at peace. Why are you asking me this, Glory? You already know the answers. The kids here, they aren't being hurt. They're just walking the path to a free and pure life, just like Harrow taught us. The shrine's whispering to her, Glory. I can feel it too. She's blissed out on it, like you said. Marta continues, her joyful smile widening, her voice is placid. Harrow's a great man, a prophet. True sacrifices have to be made, but what he brings in return, it's so much. Love, Glory, you remember. Glory grits her teeth but gives you a small nod. Yeah, you're right. After so many years living here, I don't know if she even knows what normal feels like anymore. She steps forward and grabs Marta by the shoulders. It's a curiously soft gesture. Marta, if what you're saying is true, if you ever really did care for me, then please give me your key. It's important. Key? Whatever you use to get past the wards outside of Harrow's shrine. I need it. Don't ask why, just do this for me. You owe me that much. She looks momentarily conflicted, then the moment passes. No, Harrow said that I had to guard this. He told me that I could never take it off. I can't question one of Harrow's orders. It'd be wrong. What if I could convince you that it wouldn't be wrong to question him? She blinks. Then that thing that you saw behind her eyes locks down again, and the flicker of unease on her face is replaced with an easy smile. You're welcome to try, but I promise you, you'll walk away from this apologizing for how wrong you were. Harrow is a great man. Forestel is a good place. Stay here a while, and you'll learn that for yourself. She crosses her arms over her chest. Go ahead, ask your questions. We have nothing to hide. I've read Harrow's manifesto. It looks like he spends a long time talking about charity. She nods eagerly. Yes, of course, charity. The kind that I practice when I rescue young people from the streets. But then, in his rules of living, he says that all free thinkers are supposed to be selfish. Well, yes, but... And after that, he says that only the strong deserve to prosper, so which is it? Marta blinks. She looks momentarily confused, and then you see the conviction clamp down behind her eyes. You just don't understand the beauty of his message, the truth behind it. Harrow's hurting the runaways that you bring here. You can see that, can't you? Her smile shifts into an expression of mock concern. Hurting? How so? He's going to make the initiates, the young initiates, like the girl in the next room, do something horrible. Her smile slowly fades. That girl, such a sweet young thing. I rescued her from a bad place, Glory. Her and the boys in that dorm as well. But they're all safe now, and isn't that what's important? Are they? You know what I'm talking about, Marta. The harvesting, the meat. The confusion washes over her face again. She begins blinking agitatedly and fidgeting. Then, that unseen force clamps down again. She seems to calm. It's regrettable, but it happens for a good reason. The sacrifices keep us here, and safety's something that a lot of these kids have never known. The initiates have to learn how things are done here. Harrow told us so. That's what it all boils down to, doesn't it? It has to be this way because he says it does. He's a great man. He would never hurt us, whatever you say. You're taking everything out of context. You don't understand. He's corrupting you all. How many of them has he taken as his wives, yourself included? She rolls her eyes at you. A lesson in Puritan values from a Shadowrunner. How quaint. I'm not making a value judgment, just an observation. Sex is a pleasurable function of biology. There's nothing wrong with enjoying it. Harrow is only doing what everyone would do if they could. It's a sign of how twisted society is that you think this is even a problem. Give us the amulet, Marta. It's the right thing to do. You feel the whispering again, and the look of confusion intensifies on Marta's face. I don't know what to do. What you say makes sense, but it feels wrong somehow, and I just can't... It isn't you, it's this place. It gets in your head. It took a lot more than this to wake me up to it. I don't know what to do. Slowly she fishes the amulet from between her breasts, and she holds it out to you with a trembling hand. Take it and go. Do what you need to do. Thank you, Marta. She holds her head clasped in both hands. A tortured expression has overtaken her face. Please, just go. You said that you just wanted to talk to her. She ran out of here in tears. Her mother died. We're going to go calm her down right now. Oh no, poor Marta. Take care of her, okay? I'm going to do a quick save. And then go and see if we can... Okay, let's do this actually. As you step forward, the scintillating red light that streams from the doorway flickers and dies. There's a strange lurching sensation in your gut, but it clears almost instantly. The door swings open with a touch. That seems to have done it. Glory nods, then reaches into her satchel. Her hand comes back out clutching a small jar. I'm going to put a smear of this on your forehead. It's a sort of alchemical balm. Harrow taught me how to make it. She unscrews the cap from the jar, revealing a pale white ointment. The surface glitters strangely in the dim light. If you ever wondered where my share of the take from our jobs has gone, this is the answer. Powdered orichalcum isn't cheap to come by. I made up words then, I'm not sure why. Orichalcum? What's that? An alchemical alloy. It's inherently magical, hellishly difficult to make, and incredibly expensive. It's also the key ingredient in a lot of magical foci, and it's what makes this balm react the way that it does to astral energy. She dips a metallic fingertip into the jar and begins to stir. The boundaries between the material world and the astral plane are weak here. This stuff acts like a sort of lens. It focuses your perception, makes the haze real. She applies a smear of ointment to her forehead. It looks like a glob of white, glittering paint. With this, we can deal with the spirit on its own level. Sounds like a plan to me. She dips her fingers back into the balm and traces it down your forehead. The ointment feels cool and oily to your skin. That's good, because we don't have another one. She fishes in her bag a second time and pulls out a pair of silver necklaces. A rune-inscribed pendant dangles from each. This will protect your astral self from spiritual possession. Don't take it off while we're dealing with the shrine, whatever you do. Got it. Glory puts on her own pendant. The necklace glitters slightly against her pale skin. I don't know what's going to happen when we step into this room, Wolf. We're playing with forces outside of our control. Are you ready to do this? Yep. Let's go then. Once we've purified the spirit, we can see about rescuing those kids. Harrow will get away, but we can worry about that later. That's the plan. One last thing before we do this. I have reason to suspect that Harrow isn't the real power here anymore. I think that the spirit is. I think that when Harrow started using his shrine, he handed the spirit trapped inside... of it the keys to the kingdom. The bastard might think that he's in charge here, but he isn't. Not anymore. He's a servant, just like everybody else. The only difference is that he doesn't know it. What are you basing this on? What we saw about with the initiate in the fridge, what we heard Marta say about sacrifices. Lots of little things, but they add up. Anyway, I'm only bothering you with this because it's solid evidence that we're doing the right thing. Even if Harrow does escape, he won't be as much of a threat as we thought he was. I just wanted you to know that. Cool. As you approach the shrine, a chorus of high, sibilant voices fills the air. The sound is light and airy, but something about it fills you with bone-deep dread. Welcome home, Glory. Glory's eyes go wide. She opens her mouth to speak, but no sound escapes her. Glory, what? Something slams into you, a wave of intangible force that turns your consciousness inside out and sends shockwaves reverberating through your mind. The world lurches and everything goes black. Slowly you begin to stir. Murky, flickering impressions invade the oily stillness of your unconscious mind. The sensations come in waves, washing up over you and jerking you back towards consciousness. You smell acrid smoke and burning meat. The roar of distant flames whispers in your ears. When your eyes flutter open, a dull red glare fills your vision. As you attempt to struggle to your feet, you become dimly aware of the gravity feeling wrong. Everything's heavier than it should be. Slowly, the waves grow still, and your senses calm. You find yourself staring into an infinite horizon. The blasted ruins of Fuestel stretches out in all directions, as far as the eye can see. Holy shit. Warily, she surveys your surroundings. I'd say that's an understatement. Where the hell are we? Can't say for certain, but there's one thing that I am sure of. Whatever this place is, the adversary holds sway here. I don't doubt that. In fact, I think that this place looks the way it does because you expect it to. It's trying to play on your fears. She pauses for a moment, then shrugs. That's possible, I suppose, but we can worry about it later. For now, let's keep moving. The spirit will be around here somewhere. Is that like a door? Whoop! First things first is heal me for that 10 fucking HP that... Oh, nice. Fuck's sake, Glory. Oh, hello. Pop. Pop. Or you, Seeker, Mauler. That is good. Missing is good. Start burning the shit out of some of these monsters. You monstery bastards. This looks very throne-like, doesn't it? The thing hovering before you is hideous. Its broad chest is jacketed in scale-like patches of burning coal, and its many sets of antlers shimmer with heat. It smells like a barn fire, wood smoke, burning fur, and blackening bodies. The spirit inclines its head towards Glory and spreads its arms in welcome. Glory, welcome, child. It speaks in a chorus of clear, lilting voices. You don't hear them so much as feel them. The sensation is strange, like hundreds of butterflies fluttering in your chest. What a pleasure it is to see you again. Glory steps forward, trepidation on her face. Standing before the towering form of the spirit, she looks frail and small. She takes a deep breath, steels herself, and speaks. I know what you were, spirit, before the adversary twisted you, before Harrow bound you into this rock. She drops her hand to the satchel at her side. I can help you to be that again. All that you need to do is let me. The spirit chuckles, a strange, warbling sound that sends a shiver down your spine. We are not in need of help. We are our great master's servant, just as Harrow is. Just as you are, despite your misguided attempt to cut away his love from your heart. The voices in your head soften, become sad, but the fluttering in your chest turns ugly, like the buzzing wings of a swarm of blowflies. You have mangled yourself beyond repair, and you did it to spite him. He, who was your greatest benefactor. You betrayed him, child, but he loves you all the same. Cut the shit, spirit. We all know what your master's love does to people. Slowly, terribly, the spirit begins to turn. You can hear the crack and pop of splintering vertebrae as its enormous head shifts on its shoulders. It fixes its cavernous gaze on you. Your friend, this outsider, slanders our great master, but we take no offense. His words are like the babble of a newborn babe. He's ignorant of the truth. The spirit inclines its head towards you. If the noise continues, we will teach him, and the babble will cease. Glory shoots you a sidelong glance. She mouths out a word. Don't. I have a message for you from our great master. He has a gift for you, a peace offering, one that he offers freely, a sign of his continued affection for you. He knows that you desire his servant's destruction. As a symbol of his love, he will grant you the power to bring an end to Harrow. He knows that you wish to free the children of Fuerstel. As a sign of his compassion, he will set them free. You can have everything you want, child, all of this and more. That's a nice pitch, Spirit, but you neglected to mention the price. The Spirit leans towards her, clasping its hands. This will cost you nothing, a simple gesture, a trifle, a show of good faith. If you demonstrate your love for him, he will reward you beyond your wildest dreams. Remove the protective ward from your neck, and his gift is yours for the taking, yours forevermore. Glory cranes her neck to look up at the reeking, cadaverous thing that looms over her. I had my own limbs hacked off to get away from the adversary. I paid someone to do it. That's how badly I wanted to be free of your great master. Your offer is as pathetic as it was predictable. To be frank, I'm disappointed in you. The barnfire stench of the Spirit thickens, and its antlers glow white. The heat radiating from the thing is like an oven, a kiln, a blast furnace. If you rebuke our great master a second time, I will chew what's left of you into mulch. The marrow from your bones will nourish the garden. I promise you this, child, I promise it. I have a better idea. She dips a hand into her satchel and produces a ceremonial dagger. The blade shimmers easily in the light. We're going to purify you, Spirit, and after we've finished, you'll help us to rescue those kids. The Spirit cackles. Very well, child. If pain is what you seek, we will bring it to you. Beneath its leathery skin, the thing's bones begin to shift, straining against the ligaments and tendons that bind them. A hideous cracking sound fills the air as the skeleton splinters and pops. As you watch, the Spirit's body begins to rupture. Great legions open up in the creature's chest and back, and its ribcage cracks from some horrible internal pressure. The Spirit's chest heaves and a foul liquid pours from the rips in its flesh. A flash of light stabs your eyes, and when your vision clears, you find 3 identical spirits floating before you. 3? I can only see 2. Death comes in many forms, child. The fluttering sensation in your chest grows into a rasping pain that steals the breath from your lungs. It feels like you're going to be eaten alive. Yours will be swift and brutal. Oh, there's the 3rd one. What have you got, Glory? Where's this knife I'm supposed to do something with? Come on! A figure materializes out of the shadow. The form is wispy and insubstantial, a projection of a man, distorted by distance. His silhouette ripples like a flag in the wind. Through the haze you can see his face. He is more beautiful than handsome, with sculpted features and an unnaturally youthful complexion. His expression is sad. Harrow. Glory. The voice is deep but faint and marred by echoes. It sounds as if he's shouting from the far end of a long tunnel. You shouldn't have come here. I was content to let you live out your life in peace. I've come to put an end to this place, Harrow. This place and your pathetic, sickening cult. I don't want to kill you, Glory, and I won't unless you force my hand. The flickering silhouette spreads its arms wide. Ask me for my protection, and I will usher you out of this place. You can leave first still in peace. If you ask me politely, I might even let you leave with your friend. I won't abandon your victims here, Harrow. Not again. I'm going to burn this place to the ground. My only regret is that you aren't here in person to burn with it. The projection of Harrow sighs. A fight, then? Very well. The air all around him begins to pulse with scintillating bursts of colour. His rippling, transparent form grows with heat from within. You brought this upon yourself. Now there's Harrow as well. I suppose he... Bye, Harrow. Right, you. Okay, well, you're all doing well. Right. For fuck's sake. Which one do we think it is? I found out which one you are. Oh, Harrow's back. Right, that's the real one. But we'll see. First things first, let's kill Harrow. Next things next. Let's... Stop -1 APing me. Oh, now they can hit. Not hard, mind you. Go on, Glory. Pop, pop. Weakened, the spirit's form flickers and sparks. The burning coals that cling to its body fall off in clumps, and its searing antlers begin to cool. The chorus of lilting voices warbles and shrieks as its body transmogrifies into something else. Through the haze, you can see Harrow's eyes go wide. At once, his rippling silhouette begins to fade back into the shadows whence it came. His body becomes insubstantial. Go ahead and run, you fucking coward. Run back to the real world, and whatever hole you crawled out of. We'll catch you. Shadows in the shape of a man smile back at you. The distance in his voice has increased. It sounds like he's shouting from miles away. I don't think so. You don't even know where the real me is, Glory. Oh, don't worry. We'll find you. We're good at that sort of thing. The projection flashes you a condescending grin. Believe whatever you like, fool. It won't do you any good. Years from now, I'll still be doing what I do, and you will have accomplished nothing. Go ahead, Harrow. Try to set up another cult. You won't get far before I hunt you down. The projection chuckles. The sound is thin and hollow. You know better than that. But nothing makes me happier than the sound of you lying to yourself. Goodbye, Glory. The shadow slowly dissipates, and Harrow is gone. Run, coward. Run far, far away. We'll find you. Glory continues staring for a long moment at the spot where the projection of Harrow vanished. Her expression is unreadable. Slowly, she turns away. The spirit's writhing form continues its transformation. Twisted claws buckle, break, and reform. Charred bone begins to heal. The barn fire stench of it slowly dies away, replaced by an array of more pleasant smells: oak and pine and mineral oil, rustic feasts and mulled wine. Hey, it's the this is what the cover art is. Heart of Fuestel. As it cools, the spirit raises its head. Its body is as shaky as a newborn foal's. What has happened to us? What have we done? What have you done? Terrible things, Spirit. Loathsome, unforgivable things. You have corrupted children, turned them into killers. You've been party to violence, torture, and the desecration of corpses. You've created monsters. The spirit cringes, shaking its great head from side to side. It doesn't speak, but a low rumbling sound emanates from somewhere deep in its chest. Unpleasant to think about, isn't it? But you have to, Spirit. You can't run from what you've done. Your actions are a part of you, whether you like it or not. The rumbling sound turns into a tormented howl. The noise conjures images of mourning mothers and caged animals, screeching orphans and dying men. It's a sound of pure, unmitigated despair. Glory takes a step towards the giant creature. Listen to me, Spirit. I need your help. We're here to rescue the cultists of Fuestel, the street kids whose minds you touched. We're getting them out of here before the adversary can do to them what it did to you. The spirit stares at Glory for a long moment. Finally, it dips its head. Yes, we will help you. I'll be damned, something's gone right for a change. The spirit bows its head. We have withdrawn ourselves from the minds of the people here. They are themselves again. Thank you. We'll take our leave of you now. The heart of Fuestel's head jerks up in alarm. Wait, we wish to do more. We have much to atone for, as you said. Just what do you hope to do? Make amends, heal the sick and the wounded, bring them the succor of hearth and home. But we can do nothing without your help. We are still bound to this shrine, anchored here. We cannot leave without your assistance. What do you need us to do? We need an appropriate vessel to carry us out of the rock, something touched by magic, but more dead than alive. It dips its head. Do you have anything that can help us? Gingerly, she reaches up and wraps a hand around the protective ward that hangs around her neck. Yes, I think that I do. With a single motion, she snaps the chain. The pendant falls to the floor. The heart of Fuestel lowers its eyeless head and traces an elaborate gesture in the air. A warm glow envelops it, and a similar glow spills from Glory. There is a bright flash and the spirit's gone. Glory, are you okay? Slowly she rises. She looks you in the eye, a quizzical expression on her face. I can feel it, the spirit. It's bound to me now. So what does that mean for us? Can the spirit help us, like it said? See for yourself. She raises an arm and you feel a burst of warmth and comfort in your chest. It wants to help people, to heal them. It wants redemption just like I do. Together, maybe we'll find it. Behind your eyes, your vision starts to twist. It feels as though you're being turned inside out. Time to go. With the spirits linked to the adversary severed, this entire reality is falling apart. See you in the real world, Glory. Yeah, I'll see you there. Slowly you swim back to consciousness. Struggling to your feet, you find Glory already standing and alert. I can feel them. The spirits set them free, but they're trapped somewhere here in the complex. Best get to them in a hurry then. This place feels like it's shaking itself apart. Be on your guard. The connection between this compound and whatever we were is breaking down. As that place disintegrates, more and more things are spilling through. Like rats fleeing a sinking ship. Yeah, and it's only a matter of time before Fuestel is consumed too. Look in the corner there. You can already see it happening. I'll take your word for it. Let's move. Come on then, Glory. Let's get out of here. Let's skibibbidi battle. Okay, I can't go that way. As you kick the door open and stumble forward into the room, you find yourself surrounded by a sea of teenage faces, initiates and acolytes, huddled together and trembling. With the spirit's influence cleared from their minds, their swagger's gone. They look frightened and lost, like kids who have had the security blankets torn away. Glory? Is that you? The acolyte is in his early 20s, close to Glory's age. His eyes are wide with astonishment. You don't know me, but I was a new initiate back when you lived here, when you were... She cuts in, but her voice is gentle. Yes, it's me. Come on, we're taking you to safety, someplace far away from here. A scrawny teenager in a ratty coat stares at Glory's chrome, his mouth hanging slack. His voice cracks when he speaks. What happened to you? Your arms? Something that you'll never need to worry about. Come on, let's get the hell out of here. Couldn't have put it better myself. Come on, people, we're taking you someplace safe. You thread your way back through the streets of Schomburg Forest, tracing your way back to the thicket where you and Glory hid the van. The inferno that consumed Fuestel is spreading, and the conflagration casts the forest around you in a sinister orange light. The heat at your back is intense, unbearable. Far ahead, Glory blazes a trail for you to follow, shredding the foliage in her path. The liberated initiates teeter on the edge of panic as they struggle to keep pace behind you. The fire is moving fast, but you're faster. As Glory helps the last of the kids into the van, you put the vehicle in gear and punch the accelerator. The burning ruin of Fuestel recedes into the distance, a glowing speck in the rearview mirror. The peace and safety of the cruise bazaar lie ahead. Sweet. Right, just OTK to go. I don't think anything happens after those missions. So we might as well just go straight here, talk to talk to all the guys actually, see if anyone's got anything else for me. Anybody want to talk to me about something? Glory stands, an introspective look on her face. At the sound of your approach, she turns to face you. Thank you for your help at Fuestel. I couldn't have done it without you. Speaking of which, I've been meaning to talk to you about that. After the things we saw in there, I'm not surprised. Go ahead, Wolf. I'm listening. Harrow got away, just like you said he would. Yes, and he's already putting distance between himself and the Schomburg Forest. How do you want to go about tracking him? Finding Harrow is going to be a full-time job. I can't track him down while we still have a great dragon hanging over our heads. After we've dealt with Vauclair and the Firewing, I'll devote myself wholeheartedly to finding that bastard and finishing this. But for now, we need to keep our eyes on the road ahead. What did you wind up doing with all the cultists that we rescued? Did you send them to Samuel? No, he has enough to worry about keeping the people of the Cruise Bazaar safe. Those kids that we rescued, they've been damaged by Harrow's philosophies. They can get better, but it's going to take time. Trying to integrate them into our society too quickly would be dangerous. So where did they go? I took them to the talismonger, Agenon. He said that he knew a place where they could get help. It won't be easy for them, or quick, but they'll get better in time. We didn't see Marta again after she ran off. Do you think that she's okay? I don't know. I don't even know if I want her to be. She was the first person I ever really loved, but that doesn't make up for all the pain that she's caused. Harrow did a hell of a job on her. If she is alive, she's probably still thinks that she's saving the kids that she lured to Fuestel. I just feel sick thinking about it. Let's talk about something else, Wolf. I'd rather not dwell on this. I got an achievement. Yeah, boy. Nothing there. What's my Alice fund? Still 40. The writers have it on good authority that the Lobachevsky Syndicate is eyeing Shatnest for expansion. For the good of the Flux, we should keep a watchful eye on this situation. See attached files for more details. Okay, bad news for Shatnest, but if the Rambok isn't going to stop them, and I hear Surf Turf is out the picture, well, I'm sure there's some polyclub out there who wants a piece of that pie. I know we've got enough of them. I know that Humanis has had some presence there, but I doubt they'll fight the Russians too much. I'd say they're far more likely to form a partnership. I've got solar panels like everybody, but does anybody have experience with these mana turbine services? I'm off the grid, so there are some times when I need to do some late night decking or maintenance on my telescoping limbs. Is that the thing where a mage comes by and drops some juice into a generator? My buddy was telling me about them last week. The turbine spins the mana around and the charge lasts for weeks, he said. They're a scam, chummer. That mage is going to be out of there with your money before you realise how much power you've actually got. You're better off peddling a bike battery. Cool, cool. Right, this is the last job. I hope this gives me 10k, to be honest. Assemble a team and travel to the OTK International offices to tap Knight Errant Communications in preparation for your run against Aztechnology. OTK International is a small-time software developer, and it shows. The company's main office is crammed up against the back wall of a massive shared office park, surrounded by competing businesses and larger corporations. A steady trickle of dead-eyed wage slaves flows in and out of the complex. The office park's main entrance is overflowing with hired security, but your forged keycard gets you past them easily enough. A few minutes later, you're walking the winding corridors towards OTK International. You're only a few smashed computers away from putting Amsel's plan into motion. We wanted, there's Glory, and you can have your better pistol, Dietrich, and there's a better shotty for you, isn't there? Shotty 18, I think it is. Passing through the doors of OTK International, you find yourself in a stretch of industrial hallway. Apparently, the company's too small to warrant such amenities as a lobby or a greeting area. The rest of your team is waiting for you at OTK's side entrance, outside of the office park and beyond the reach of building security. Letting them in should be as easy as opening a service door. Marvelous! You're locked. Well, let's do some exploring first. As you pass by the open door, you see a middle-aged wage slave working at a console. His back is facing the doorway, and he doesn't seem to have noticed you. Sneak up! You begin creeping towards the wage slave. He's so engrossed in his work that he doesn't seem aware of anything else. Just over halfway across the room, the wage slave's body tenses. He begins to turn in his seat. Duck and hide. The wage slave completes his turn. He stares blankly out the door for a moment, then shakes his head. He mutters something about needing to get more sleep, rubs his eyes, and returns to his work. Continue sneaking. You resume creeping across the room. Seconds later, you're right behind him. Tap him on the shoulder. The wage slave simultaneously leaps out of his chair and attempts to whirl towards you. His knee smashes into the corner of his desk and he goes crashing to the ground, wailing. Offer him your hand to help him up. Sorry to startle you. I'm new here and just wanted to introduce myself. He reaches up with a scowl and clasps your hand. Slowly and painfully, he pulls himself to his feet. You're going to give someone a heart attack sneaking around like that. Not the best way to make a first impression. He rubs his knee with a scowl. Alright, new guy, what's your name? Jonathan. I'm a contractor. Look, I've been here for 36 hours and I was supposed to clock out 45 minutes ago. Do you need something from me? Because if you don't, I'm out of here. Nothing that can't wait until the morning. Go and get some rest. You look like you could use it. Yeah, crunch time again. Gotta love it. With a keystroke, he locks his console and turns for the door. Good night, pal. What the fuck? That's not the door that I went in, though. I went in this door. What the fuck? What the fuck? Warning. Unauthorized access only. Authorized individuals will be fired upon. The drone's weapons begin tracking you. I will step back. Can't I just hack them, though? I can't jack in. I can't do jack. Haha. Did you get it? Can't do jack. Hello, what's all this? A well-used calendar is hung up on the wall, covering in notes and appointments, something something. June the 29th has been circled about half a dozen times. June 29th. Filing cabinets have been labelled in neat blocks printing by hand. They're all locked. Bookshelf is neatly organised and alphabetized. On the upper shelf is framed a picture of a young blonde girl with braces and a huge smile stretching across her face. The board is arranged in a grid of names and tasks, most of which seem to be in completed category. In the corner is a note: Lucy, B-Day, choose, do not forget. So on Tuesday, the 29th of June, the little blonde-haired girl has a birthday, Lucy. The desk before you is well kept. The papers are stacked neatly, the drawers are closed, and the terminal shut off. Search the drawers. The contents of the drawers make it clear that this desk belongs to a supervisor of some sort, a Mr. Stephen Williams, according to the nameplate. You find plenty of employee performance evaluations, schedules of upcoming meetings and deadlines, and other decidedly uninteresting files and papers. One of the drawers, however, is locked. The drawer appears to be secured by some sort of electronic lock. The desk itself, however, looks relatively flimsy. You might be able to force the drawer open. There's no visible keyhole, no input pad, and no card reader. The lock must be controlled through the computer terminal. Terminal boots up, crack the password, logged in as S. Williams, unlock the drawer. With a sharp clicking sound, the magic lock releases and the drawers pop open. Amongst the various other items in the locked drawer, you find a supervisor ID badge. Sweet. Lead the way. Well, I want to see where you guys have come from. But apparently not. Oh, hello. Standing in the hallway is a janitor, a tired-looking woman in her mid-30s. She's staring at you, her eyes wide with surprise. You can't help but notice the alarm panel set into the wall just behind her. With a flick of her wrist, she could make your job infinitely more complicated. Oh, excuse me, you startled me there. A look of confusion crosses the janitor's face as her eyes flit from you, your teammates, to the door that you just let them in through. You are suddenly aware of how very out of place you look in this building, and the furrow in the janitor's brow tells you that she's made the same observation. Who are you exactly, and how did you get into the building? I'm new. They just brought me on as a QA tester for the Ares project. Oh, well, welcome aboard. From what I've heard about QA testing, I don't envy you. The guys back in the server room will appreciate your presence, I'm sure. No joke. She gestures towards the open door. Well, step on right on in and head to Mandy in reception. She'll get you logged into the system so that you can clock in and out. The janitor smiles at you warmly. Thanks. What was your name, by the way? I'd love to tell management how helpful you've been. Oh, I'm Jesse Sanders. She waves. Pleasure meeting you. I'm sure I'll catch you all around. I got karma for not killing someone. Well done, me. Wait, where's this fucking reception woman I was supposed to speak to? Right, apparently we're gonna make a kerfuffle anyway. Hello, robots. Hovering silently, the drones sweep their optical sensors over your stolen ID badge. A few seconds later, a synthesized voice chirps out of the nearest drone's speaker grill. Level 2 authorization detected, proceed. Oh, that's convenient. Halt! This is a restricted area. The guard raises his weapon, his voice is brimming with excitement. Show me your ID now! It's right here. He squints at your badge, scowling. After a few seconds, he lowers his weapon. Sorry to have bothered you, sir. You're cleared to be here, but stay where I can see you, and don't leave this room. Okay. Right, he said don't leave the room. If I'm not allowed to leave the room, where the fuck do I go? Drone Control Center. I'm gonna go in here, okay? The guard wheels to face you. Hey, what do you think you're doing? I told you those doors were off limits. Look, I really need to get through here. Would you mind? I can't help you, sir. You're cleared to be in this room, but only under direct supervision, and we can't leave our post to escort you into the other room. You just stay in this room, alright? Check your software from where you're at and leave. Or I'll have to call this into Central. I need direct server access to do my job, pal. I can't complete my check from this terminal. The guard sighs. Hold there. I'm calling this in to clear it with Central. If they give the go-ahead, I'll take you wherever you need to be. He reaches for the comlink stud at his collar. This will only take a minute. Oh, uh-oh. Let's wait. Moments later, his shoulders jerk back in alarm. In a flash, the guard readies his weapon. Central didn't send anyone here. Put your hands where I can see them. You're coming with me. Okay then. Right. I know that you're really shit at shooting things. In fact, maybe we claw him. Oh fuck, you don't even have enough to... Right, I know that you're really shit at shooting things, Glory, but please hit him. Thank you. Okay, good. Why don't you use your little med pack on our friend here? And then run over and slash the shit out of this guy. Or miss, you know, either or. Either or, that's okay. Let's give some haste to my boy. Which means that you can probably finish off that drone. And that means that you can get down here and shoot that man. One damage. Well done. Server room door key, hooray. Right, let's get in here. And access the fucking terminal. That you can't do fuck all with. Oh, hello. Heading for the drone control console, I'll get the drones into the fight, sir. I'll get the fucking drones into the fight, if that's what you're planning. Drone, input control, order the drones to target security personnel. Log out. Now run back down here like a good boy and shoot somebody. What have we got? A rigger, an enforcer, a guard. Rigger's dead. Well, you're not quite dead, but... Stop missing! Fuck! What do we got? An enforcer, security guard. Glory! maybe Overwatch in case anyone comes in. How about that? Nice. Nice. Not so nice. Right, what are you doing, Glory? Running over and slashing at her. Very nice. Not so nice. It would be very rude to not explode them all, wouldn't it? Well done. That poor little drone has no idea what it's doing. Right, what's the only door that no one's come out of yet? Like that one, I think. But just in case, let's set up a... In fact, is that it? No, now we're just... forever... Right, drone control I already did. Let's go this way. They did come in from that way. Oh, nice. Well done. Right, for fuck's sake. I really don't want you all to die, you know that, right? Hello, why are you in here? And why aren't you on my side? You're supposed to be. Pop. Two damage. 1, 2, 3. Pop. 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 Escape. Alright, let's go. Where are they all coming from? Missed son of a fucksicle. Oh my fucking life. Yes. Your job is to die. Can we give... Let's give her the extra one. One more shot. You son of a fuck biscuit. Well done, Glory. Is there an enemy? They're your friends, right? Yeah, I have no idea where this enemy is, if there even is one. Oh, there's one. Let's make sure he can get out first. Hi, we're leaving. The U-Bahn ride home is smooth and uneventful. The high-ups at ODK International must be scrambling to try and recover their losses. It's only a matter of time before they make the call and Amsel's compromised data is uploaded to Knight Errant's comlinks. You're going to be rolling into Az technology with one hell of an advantage. Not bad for a night's work. Talk to Amsel. Right. That's a main quest, right? So let's do our rounds. She just never wants to talk to me, does she? What's even the point in this place other than that one meeting I had that one time? Pointless telephone. She doesn't want to talk to me anymore. Apparently I've exhausted my conversation with the good people of the Cruise Bazaar. Mr. Doctor. Nope. Zach Flash. Nope. You've got nothing. Thoughts about the last run? No. Anybody want to say anything? Apparently not. Nice. 270 Nguyen. It's a drop in the ocean really, but whatever. Right, come on then, Amsel. What do you have to tell me? Wolf, a job well done, as usual. And the plan has worked swimmingly, I might add. I'm already patched into the Knight Errant comm system. If and when they summon their high threat response team, I'll know. As soon as you're finished resupplying, I recommend heading directly to Jewel District. Jewel District? A commercial district shared by a variety of competing corporate interests. As technology controls the largest share of the district, including the major utilities that serve it. You will find the facility that you'll be raiding there. Considering the level of security that our technology is running, I wouldn't count on medical evac being available on this run. In fact, I'd bet against it. That means if anyone falls unconscious in there, they'll be buried when the building collapses. Obviously, you can't let that happen. I'd suggest stocking up on medical supplies before leaving the Grizz Bazaar. No medevac for this run. Got it. One last thing, Wolf. Frau Moeller sent me a message while you were on the OTK run. She says that when you reach the sub-basement of the facility, you will find a security door. This door's maglocks can be opened via a voice print recognition system. Apparently, Frau Mueller surreptitiously recorded your meeting. She claims that she's added your voice print to the technology database. What does that mean? If our client is to be believed, you'll have the necessary access to open the door. The rest of your team, however, will not. When you reach that door, I recommend grouping up. Only you can open it, and there's no saying what you'll find on the other side. I'm not crazy about all of these new details coming in. She should have briefed me about this earlier. Agreed. Our Frau Mueller clearly is out of her depth. That said, we find ourselves between a rock and a hard place. We desperately need the money she's paying for this job, and we've already committed ourselves by attacking OTK. Despite Frau Mueller's lack of professionalism, we need to press forward, and that means that you're going to need to get past that door. Go now, Wolf. We need to strike while the iron's hot. Okie coke. Where would you like to travel? As technology, please. Glory, Dietrich, Iga. I need a decker. Okay. Then Dietrich, you're out. Blitz, you're in, I guess. As technology, a giant in the worlds of technological and magical research, one of the most powerful and feared corporations on the planet. There are very few places in this world that the tendrils of technology cannot reach. Germany is no exception. The black glass edifice of an Azzy pyramid dominates the courtyard of the Citadel Spandau, and countless other, more innocuous facilities can be found all over Berlin. The lab that they maintain in the Jewel district is one of these. According to your client, the project that the Azzies are working on here is dangerous. So dangerous that she's paying you to bring the entire building down. Yes, she is. Right, you take that pistol. What have you got? An SMG, Fairlight, Excalibur. What was that? So let's stick a med pack in there, I guess. The Jewel District is everything that your client made it out to be. Corporate complexes of all description crowd into one another, competing for the district's limited space. Lights burn in all of the windows, but the streets stand empty. No shoppers, no pedestrians, nothing but silence. Quiet out here. A friend of mine did a job here once. Told me that the local wage slaves are all issued efficiency apartments deep inside the compound. Apparently, the buildings are all linked up on underground tram systems. Bed to cubicle in less than 5 minutes. Most days, the poor bastards don't even get to see the sunshine. That ain't living, it's a slow death. He shakes his head. I just don't get wage slaves. I mean, I really, really don't. God, don't we all feel like a fucking wage slave sometimes? Beep, beep boop. Searching the dead drop, you find the package with the telltale markings of the Shockerwellenreiter. This is an open request for research data from Az Technology, Jewel District Branch. The Azzies conduct their research in secrecy. They use their money and power to obscure the truth. We will uncover their secrets. We will share them with the world. We will level the playing field between Az Technology and its competition. The timely delivery of this information will be well rewarded. Get the project data for the Shockwellenreiter. Okie coke. Your comlink crackles with static. A moment later, the sonorous voice of Luca Dwyer begins speaking in your ear. Hello again, Wolf. I have an opportunity for you. You're in Az Technology facility, yes? Well, that facility is also home to an executive, a small man who foolishly believes he's beyond our reach. In this, he's mistaken. We would like you to deliver a message to this effect. What kind of message are we talking about? The vocal kind. It's quite simple, really. All we want you to do is whisper a phrase into his ear. We are pleased that Project Vincent is going so well. If you wanted to embellish the fact that he's receiving this message in the one place where he feels the most secure, we wouldn't stop you. And that's all there is to it. A simple job, but an important one. I've already marked the target's location on your PDA. We have great faith in you, Wolf. Don't disappoint us. Your comlink buzzes. There's a series of clicks as the connection is established. A moment later, Paul Amstel begins to speak. Alright, Wolf, that's the Aztec complex just in front of you. You'll note the heavy security posted at the front door. Those are Az Technology employees. They're dangerous, to be sure, but you could probably take them out without too much difficulty. Unfortunately, the Azzies have also contracted Knight Errant to protect this facility. They're the ones that we need to worry about. Just to reiterate, you'll want to keep a low profile on this run. Get in and out as quickly and quietly as possible. Knight Errant keeps a high threat response team on site, and you don't want to tangle with them. Trust me on that. If you do need to go loud, give it everything you've got. You're going to be reducing the building to a smouldering crater anyway. But I'd highly recommend stealth over a frontal assault. We won't start shooting until we run out of words. Good man. I'd begin by trying to find an alternative path into the building, something out of sight. Once the facility calls for help, you're going to be on a tight timetable. And in that case... well, let's talk to the dude first. A stern-looking young woman in a uniform of an Technology security captain steps forward. An assault rifle is slung over her shoulder, and she half raises it at your approach. This is a secure facility, sir. Show your ID or move along. I've lost my ID. Can we come to some arrangement? No ID, no access. If you really did lose your card, you can take it up with corporate. She waves you away with her rifle. Move along. Okay, that didn't work. Cheap corporate art looks like marble from a distance, but up close it's clearly made of injection molded plasticrete. This LTG tech's coveralls are smeared with sweat and grime. A scowl is plastered across her face. She takes a quick glance at you, then turns back to her work. Unless you're here to help me fix this panel, you better stay the hell out of my hair. Otherwise I'll call security and have them drag you out. Actually, I think that I could help you. It looks like your problem's coming from somewhere upstream. See those connectors there? Hey, yeah, you're right. She looks up at you. The scowl has disappeared from her face, but she doesn't look happy either. Look, I really appreciate the help, but I have to do this myself. I'm already way behind, and corporate's gonna have my ass if I don't get it done before lunch. You know, if you're that far behind, you could always go catch up on your other work. Leave me to work on this panel. It'd be no trouble. A confused scowl crosses her face. I don't even know you, buddy. Why in God's name would I leave you alone with a panel that I'm responsible for? When did Technology ever do anything for you, aside from working you half to death? Let me take care of the panel, and you can clock out early. I'll even spread a little spending money your way. You make a compelling argument. This job has been a load of dreck since they canned my assistant. Screw it, the panel's all yours. I'm off to find a pub. Nice. The panel's a mess. The lock on the casing's been broken and exposed cabling spills out in a number of places. Override the controls. Wonderful. In we go. The glittering halls of the Technology facility stand in sharp contrast to the megacore's unsavory reputation. Everything in here screams money, from the mirror polish on the floors to the obsidian inlays in the walls. The generators and the Bloodline project lie somewhere beneath your feet. Nice work, Wolf. There have been no alerts thus far. Hopefully you'll continue to avoid detection as you make your way through the building. If an alert does go out, I'll give you an ETA on their reinforcements, but hopefully it won't come to that. I've marked an elevator on your PDA. I'd start making my way there if I were you. It's the most efficient path to reach your objective. Best of luck. Alright, lots of locked doors that I can't get through. Huh? No, we're going to try that again because I'm confused. Like, how do I get in these doors? Oh. Select a decker to jack in. There we go. Oh, hello. Wonderful. Security cameras, obviously. And now on my side, secure door controls are on my side. Elevator controls are on my side. Now we leave. Oh, there's the guard. Right, what's in here? Terminal. Yes, please. Hack the terminal. Pay data, DNA donor list. Nice. Alright, how long does it take him to... It takes him quite a while, actually. Oh, for fuck's sake, how did he see me? No, load the game. Come on, we're gonna do this. Is there no way to, like... How do you get past this person? Right, what if I wait the moment he stands here and turns around? Fuck's sake! It might just be me, but I might be an absolute moron. Oh, there's a locker there. Who the fuck just saw me? This is so irritating. It's so irritating. Have your team dress up in uniforms. Grimly, your teammates set about struggling into the complicated and ill-fitting uniforms. A few minutes of cursing and a couple of popped rivets later, the job's done. You take a moment to examine your team and then nod in satisfaction. They look like a group of authentic knight-errant security officers. Well, that's handy. I'm all for avoiding a firefight if we can get away with it. Good find, Chief. Okay, well done, me. Now save. Is this just the same place? Yes, it is. Right, so what happens if these guys see us now? Like, I'd assume nothing, but let's see. The security guard steps towards you, his weapon slung. I didn't expect to bump into any of you knight-errant guys. You on patrol? Yeah, Central wants a complete perimeter assessment. They sent me to see to it. That's odd. A scowl crosses his face. They should know that I'm on that duty. It isn't like them to double up on patrols. Hey man, it's not my call. I just do what they tell me to. I know what you mean. Well, enjoy the rest of your patrol. Don't get your hopes up though. It's dead in here tonight. Do I know it? Okay, well, that's handy. Now I can come in here. The elevator guard steps towards you. I didn't hear anything about KE assets being deployed in this sector. Why are you here? I was just transferred from HQ. They got me walking the perimeter to familiarize myself with the building. Well, enjoy the walk and get used to it. They'll have you walking perimeter for the next few months at least. A worried-looking man in an expensive suit is pacing back and forth in this room. He locks eyes with you, and you can feel the fear radiating out of him. He looks surprised to see you, but not alarmed. Oh hey, I don't usually see knight-errant personnel wandering around this part of the building. What's up? We have mutual friends. They have a message for you. Friends? What friends? What are you talking about? We're pleased that Project Vincent's going so well. The executive jerks back as though you slapped him. His face has gone white as a sheet. Our friend wanted me to deliver this message to you in person, here in your office. I'm sure that you understand. Yes, of course. The expression on his face is one of pure terror. Please tell our friend that I heard them, loud and clear, and tell them that I'm making the call. What call? You poor fool. You don't even realize what a pawn you are. Well, as long as I get paid, I don't care. Your stomach lurches slightly as the elevator plummets downwards into the bowels of the Technology facility. A faint but omnipresent thrumming sound raises the hair on the back of your neck. The deeper you go, the more certain you become. This place is vibrating with power, both from the generator and from something else. Well done, Wolf. I'm not seeing any comm chatter to indicate that Knight Errant is aware of your presence. I skipped something. Keep up the good work, Wolf. I'll contact you if anything changes. The door slides open with a hiss, revealing a surprised-looking young woman in an Aztec security uniform. She steps towards you, her weapon drawn. Stop! Who are you? She half raises her rifle. Identify yourself. Calm down. My name's Muller. Knight Errant sent me. She sounds suspicious, on edge. Let me see some ID. Do me a favor and ditch the paranoia. Central sent me to relieve you. If what you're saying is true, why haven't we heard anything on the comms about it? Beats the hell out of me. I suggest you go ask Central about it. She pauses. That isn't protocol. The entire story is suspect. Are you going to report to Central, or do I need to go back there and tell them that you refused their order? Alright, we're going. Thanks for the heads up. Let's go. The fuck is that noise? Keep moving, Wolf. You're almost there. When you reach the control panel for the generators, the password is Zolotl. You should allow you to disengage their safety overrides. Set the destruct and get out. See you back at the cruise bazaar. Okay. Miss. Oh, hello. That's it. Slowly meander your way along, little attack boy. Oh my god! Scan the node for pay data. A cursory exploration of the data store turns up nothing of value. There are hundreds of log files, the majority of which contain spending and logistic reports. Nothing of value. Amazing. Okay, coke, that was fun. Halt, this is a restricted area. I just got word from Central. Our comms have been compromised and all authorizations are being threat stacked. My orders is to proceed to a primary defense point and await further instruction. He holds out his hand. I need to see your ID then. You know how our Omega level clearance works. Hand it over, now. I'm not handing you anything until you show me your ID. His eyes widen, then narrow to slits. You think that this is some sort of game? Hand me your ID, or I will shoot you. You do that, and you'll spend the rest of your short life wishing you hadn't. My uncle runs this facility. He stands bolt upright. Dr. Huitzilin is your uncle? I had no idea. Please carry on, sir. Yeah, Dr. Huitzilin's my uncle. Not gonna lie, Chief, this place is creeping me out. Yeah, it is. A maglock with a voice print recognition system has been affixed to this door. According to Ansel, Frau Muller has already logged your voice print into the system. There's only one way to be sure. Open up. Authorization Wolf. The screen background changes from blue to green. Access granted. You hear the sound of heavy machinery rumbling to life. A moment later, the locks on the door release. The door slides open, revealing a group of figures wearing green cloaks. The nearest of the figures looks up from his work. His stare seems to bore into you. Who are you, and why are you here? His voice is slow and soft, with a slight Aztlaner accent. Answer me now. We are new security detail. Central sent us down here to familiarize ourselves with the lab. He pauses for a moment, inspecting you. Well, you certainly look the part, and more security is always welcome, but you understand, of course, that I can't just take your word for it. Of course you can't. Why don't you come a little closer? I'll show you my ID. Oh, no need. I know a better way of determining the truth. In a single smooth motion, he pulls a knife from his belt and draws it along his own forearm. The blade leaves a stripe of bright red blood in its wake. Attack before he can finish. The Blood Mage's eyes go wide with surprise. Seizing the opportunity, you attack. So, did we fuck up? I'm going to assume there's nothing I could have done there. And actually, yeah, where was the project data? Glory! Right, Blitz. What can you do? Uh-oh, I don't know what you just did, but I'm seeing sudden burst of comms traffic. You must have tripped an alarm of some kind. Get ready, Wolf. The high threat response team is on its way. I don't think there's anything I could have done. This terminal has been locked. There doesn't seem to be any way to unlock it from here, but it's connected to a number of other terminals in the room. In theory, a Decker could probably enter the lab's dedicated matrix server and unlock the terminal from there, but doing so would almost certainly raise an alarm. Did you hear that? Who are you? Hey boss, I think you should check this out. It might be important. Yeah, I am checking it out. It says a Decker needs to go in. Or is this like only after everyone's dead, maybe? In which case, okay. Glory. Right, I really want to deck into that, but I don't know why it's not letting me. Right, come on everyone. Hey boss, you better come over here and talk to this guy. The man in the cell stares at you through red-rimmed eyes. His body is marked with obvious signs of mistreatment and neglect. He opens his mouth to speak, then closes it again and swallows hard. He tries again, and the voice that comes from him is tremulous and weak. You have killed the masters. You slaughtered them like lambs. How is that possible? No time for 20 questions. You want out of here or not? He continues to stare at you, bug-eyed and unblinking, his mouth agape. Me? Out? How could I go? It is my place to be in this cage. It is what we were bred for. But you killed the masters. It is our place to die, not theirs. Sorry to disappoint. The slack-jawed man looks genuinely confused. Disappointment? No, it is not our place to feel such things. My brothers and I are grown here, gestated in tanks to serve our purpose. The masters will it to be so. What are you talking about? We are test subjects. Our purpose is to suffer and die. His voice is utterly matter-of-fact. If any of this bothers him, he doesn't show it. In doing so, we provide useful research data. It is what we were made for. What can you tell me about the Bloodline Project? The mages wake us from our slumber, sometimes in twos, sometimes more. One is taken to another part of the facility, the testing lab. The rest remains in their cells. The mages run their tests and the entire group dies. So the mages does something to one of you and the entire group feels the effects. He nods. Yes, they haven't chosen a subject from my group yet, but when they do, my death will come. I won't hear the chanting, I won't see the mage, but I will share in the suffering. And I will die, and then another will be grown to take my place. I'm busting you and your brothers out of here. His eyes go wide, as though you've just told... it looks as though he's having a difficulty processing what you just told him. Out? But our purpose? From now on, your purpose is to do whatever the hell you want. Get ready to run. I'm going to bust you out of there. He nods wide-eyed. Yes, we will run. All of us. Thank you. And that's something he can do, right? Jack in from here? I built the wrong fucking one. Oh my god. Okay. Just waste our turns, because I want to make sure that... Oh, fuck. I forgot that he was there. Oopsie. Oh, hi. "87% blitz, for fuck's sake." Fucking deserve to die, stupid cunt. Right, really curious now. Right, come on, you can heal yourself back up again, can't you? Partially, at least. Well done, Blitz. Terminal's display blossoms to life at your approach. Reams of technical information and arcane figures fill the screen. None of it's written in a language you can understand. Decipher it. Sweeping your eyes over the written material, you recognize a number of words with Latin and Spanish roots, but the language is something altogether different. Many of the words are long and exotic, and there appears to be a form of pictographic language interspersed throughout the text. Your best guess is that this is an ancient form of Nahuatl. Why the Azis are using it here is beyond you. Judging by the amount of arcane symbology on display, it's a fair bet that these files are related to the Bloodline Project. If you could find someone capable of translating them, the information contained within would almost certainly shed some light on what the Azis have been up to, and what Frau Müller was so afraid of. On the other hand, if the Bloodline Project is really as dangerous as Frau Müller has made it out to be, it might be better to just bury it here. If the information were to fall into the wrong hands, it would invalidate the entire purpose of this run. Yeah, we'll copy it, obviously. Boop, boop. 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 Right, that's the test subjects out at least. Now I can get the hell out of here. And then let's give myself some haste. I think you guys get over here. Ready and waiting. He's fast. Nicely done. The control panel blinks with a featureless command prompt. Disable the safety overrides. I can't remember what it was. Xolotl? Something like that. Xolotl. Warning, disengaging safety overrides while generators are in operation is not recommended. Do you want to proceed? Yes. Safety overrides disengaged. Overload. The terminal processes your command. An instant later, a high-pitched screeching noise erupts from the generators. Tremors rock the facility, shaking the ground under your feet. Over the building speakers, a synthesized female voice repeatedly states the obvious. Generator overload imminent. Please evacuate the facility. That's done it. Come on, Chief. Let's listen to the nice lady and get the hell out of here. And that's where we get out, right? Yeah. Another locked door. Wonderful. Ah, come on. Let's get the hell out of here. I assume I've done everything, right? Keep the team alive and escape. Ag, 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 ag. Gradually, the ringing in your ears clears and the world comes into focus. The generator overload did its job, just as Frau Muller said it would. The S Technology facility has been reduced to a smouldering crater strewn with a chaotic jumble of cracked marble, melting plastic, and broken support beams. You can barely make out the faint wail of approaching sirens. They're still far away, but they won't be for long. Oh, Chief, that was insane. Nothing I couldn't handle, of course, but this was a little more dramatic than I was expecting. We just leveled an AS Technology facility, Blitz. Intense barely begins to cover it. Yeah, I guess that's true. Blitz steps back, blinking. A sudden gust of wind kicks smoke and dust into the air. The approaching sirens grow louder. They're now accompanied by another sound. The whine of approaching rotorcraft. What they were doing in there was wrong. More than that, it was terrible. They had to be stopped, and we stopped them. It's as simple as that. We can talk about this later. We don't want to be here when those response vehicles arrive. The test subjects that you liberated mill about aimlessly, blinking against the light. The foremost clone takes a half step forward. But what of us? We have no purpose now. This is not supposed to happen. It's wrong. Without our masters to guide us, what will we do? Whatever you want to. You're free now. You're not supposed to be anything. Find yourselves a new purpose and make it a good one. The lead clone stares into the crater, trembling. We will try. She puts a hand on your shoulder. Come on, Wolf. Let's go home. Memories of the explosion that toppled the AS Technology facility keep you company on your ride back to the Cruise Bazaar. You barely managed to outrun the blast. Now the facility lies buried under thousands of kilograms of twisted rebar and reinforced concrete. No doubt a considerable blow to AS Technology's activities here in Berlin. Mission successful. Time to get paid. Right, we've got a few things to do, haven't we? Not least of which is do our rounds. Alexander's still adjusting with difficulty. She's still got fuck all. Right, do you want to talk to me yet? I did a good thing. No, she doesn't. It's an old obsolete phone booth. Deliver the project data. You call up the AS Technology project data on your PDA, and its tiny display window fills with foreign words and symbols. Handing over the Blood Mage's research, whatever it is, would be as easy as initiating a data upload. Yep. The machine accepts the data upload, and only a few moments later a certified cred stick is spat out. The phone's old LCD readout display reads the text, Freedom Equality Information, Shockwell writer. Absinthe smiles up at you from the counter. The light catches her hair in such a way that it looks to you like spun gold. What can I do for you? I want to buy some magic. Talk to Agenon. I have a question. Can I see what you're selling? I thought he'd at least talk to me about all the people that we sent his way from the devil cult. She says the same shit. Welcome back, runner. Talk to that exec. He'll fall in line after he gets his pants thoroughly dry cleaned. Excellent work. Perhaps you do have a future in this town. Here's your pay. So now my only task is to raise the money, which should be done after we turn this in. Blitz looks grim. His customary table is littered with cigarette butts, and the heavy bags under his eyes tell you that he hasn't slept in a while. Any thoughts about the last run? I never thought I'd set foot in an Aztechnology building. Looks different in meat space than it does in the Matrix, I'll say that much. Truth be told, Chief, I found the whole experience kind of nerve-wracking. I'm glad that we're out of there, and I'm even gladder that the building is a pile of smouldering rubble now. You don't look so good. No, I imagine that I don't. I'm guessing the rescue attempt didn't go so well. No, it did not. As it turns out, she didn't need to be rescued, at least not before I showed up. I don't really want to go into this, Chief, so here's the abridged version. I made a mess of things. With your world-class skills, however could that have happened? I don't know, Chief, I really don't. I hit the data node just like last time, and just like last time, navigating it was a breeze. At least, it was in the beginning. The Aussies must have beefed up their security over the past year. That shouldn't really come as a surprise. He shakes his head, a miserable expression on his face. It was all going so well. But I guess I must have tripped something. In the blink of an eye, there were alarms going off. Then I had black IC bearing down on me from all directions. I thought I was a dead man. How'd you make it out? Well, Emily found me, and, he turns his head and looks away. She rescued me. I'd been ecstatic to see her if I wasn't so ashamed. She didn't look particularly happy either. Well, you were finally reunited with your lost love. That's something, right? Yeah, sort of. Actually, no. Things are worse now, Chief. Much worse. The last I saw of Emily, she was being chased down by a black IC. They got a trace on her. Then she must have jacked out because she just disappeared. She looked really, really angry. Livid would probably be a better word. And that's about it. She's gone, Wolf. He looks down into a cup of soy calf. I don't know if I'll ever hear from her again. At least she jacked out, so she's still alive. That's something, right? I guess so. A cheerful tone chirps out from the terminal on Blitz's table. He jerks up in surprise and hurriedly turns to read the message on screen. As he mouths the words, you can see the hope on his face flicker and die. If anything, he looks even more miserable than he did before. What's going on, buddy? He glances at you with red-rimmed eyes, then averts his gaze. Without a word, he turns the terminal so that you can read the message on the screen. Congratulations, jackass. You managed to blow an op 5 years in the making and endanger Emily's life all in one fell swoop. Thanks to you, we're going to have to work very hard to keep your ex alive. Don't bother looking for her again. She's being moved somewhere very, very far away. She never wants to speak with you again, by the way. Idiot. Freedom, equality, information, Shockwell writer. He clamshells the terminal closed and puts his head in his hands. Well, at least you know she was working for the Shockwell writer. His reply is dull and flat. Somehow, that's not a consolation. No, I guess not. Chief, let me ask you something. Did you suspect that something like this was going to happen? When you let me go in there, did you know that I was going to fuck it up somehow? Of course not. How could I? I don't know. I guess I'm just on edge right now. Oh, Jesus Christ. All of these things are pretty shitty things to say, aren't they? I know you can't see it right now, but having Emily out of your life is a good thing, Blitz. From what you described, it sounds like your relationship with her was a pretty toxic one. You don't know what you're talking about, Chief. You never even met her. I don't have to. She could have avoided all of this and protected her oh-so-secret mission if she'd communicated with you a little better. She left me notes. Yeah, inflammatory notes that provided almost no useful information. Look, you've made your fair share of mistakes, but no more than she did. He hangs his head. I don't know. Maybe. I still love her, though. That's something you'll just have to work out for yourself. I'll give you some space and leave you to it. Alright, Chief, you do that. I got some thinking to do. That was complete Blitz's storyline. I don't know if I fucked that up somehow. I wonder if there was a better ending for him. I'm so sorry, Blitz. Thoughts about the last mission? You know, boss, living in Berlin, I never thought I'd get the chance to go up against a blood mage. Guess today was my lucky day. Not sure how I feel about freeing those clones. It might have been kinder to put them out of their misery. It was your call, though. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Wolf, what can I do for you? Boast about the last run. That complex needed to be buried. What they were working on in there, it was an atrocity, Wolf. I'm glad that we were able to put a stop to it. Saving the clones was a bold move. It would have been easier to leave them where they were and consider them collateral damage. But it was the right choice, Wolf. You don't even want to talk to me, Glory. What the fuck? Messages. Shockwell writer. Wolf, thank you for your service. As a sign of appreciation, we've decided to reward you with a piece of biotech that one of our operatives acquired on a recent job. If you wish to take advantage of this, go see Dr. Escobel. The implementation surgery has already been paid. So there's no cost to you. Thanks again for your help, and enjoy your new toy. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops on the screen. If you are receiving this message, I have fled the country or am otherwise unavailable. Don't worry, you'll still be getting paid. I've made the appropriate preparations. In any case, Wolf, thanks for helping me. Please do not attempt to contact me again. As far as the world and my former employers are concerned, I am buried under a ton of rubble. It's best that I remain that way. Goodbye. Yvonne Jimenez, aka Frau Muller. Yvonne Jimenez. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Your payment details. Oh, I'm well over for my Alice funds now. $58K, yeah. Shadowlands BBS. You feel that shake a few hours ago? Not an earthquake. ASI facility went sky high downtown. Boom! You can see the smoke from here. A friend of mine down there says it was a power spike that blew their generators. I doubt it. Only Shadowrunners have that sense of flair. You're kidding me. That huge one that sprung up 6 months ago? That place must have cost millions to build. If it was runners, hope they got a major payday. No way I'd go anywhere near an ASI facility without a trunk full of ammo and a mage washing my back. Honestly, the power spike version sounds more likely. I've walked past that facility, and they have guards posted at the door 24/7, not to mention the automated turret systems backing them up. No way someone got paid to waltz through that shice. No way. So dig this. Apparently, there were some survivors wandering around the U-Bahn station near the blast site. Some Bumona folk approached to see if they had accounts. Then one of them said they had to keep running. Then they all took off down the tunnel. Well, sure. With a blast of that magnitude, they were probably all in shock. Found another post about a bunch of glassy-eyed people wandering around. It said that they were all wearing hospital gowns. The bum on our people must have hooked him up. They keep all kinds of medical gear in their rescue wagons. Maybe. Or maybe they were Azzy guinea pigs. Right, let's talk to Paul. Nothing new for you, Wolf. You have Alice's money and we need that information. Get to the rabbit hole and hurry back. I need your password. Amsel sucks in a deep breath. He suddenly looks as though an enormous weight has been lifted from his shoulders. Yes, very good. Excellent, in fact. This has been a long time coming, Wolf. You don't have to tell me how long it's been, old man. I've been working my ass off to raise the money. Amsel bristles slightly but keeps his cool. Yes, of course. You've raised Alice's fee with admirable expedience, despite your obvious social issues. But I'm very much looking forward to bringing this entire sorry episode to a close. Now, before you go see Alice, there are a few things that you should know. Pay attention to this, Wolf. It's important. First, this is a one-way operation. Once the funds have been transferred to the cred stick, the only person who will be able to access them is Alice. As far as the team is concerned, the money will simply disappear. Are you sure we can trust Alice? I am. Believe me, her reputation in the Shadow community is worth far more to her than 50,000 Nuyen. She will deliver the information that she promised. Besides, what other choice do we have? We cannot run, and money will do us little good if we're dead. I suppose that's true. Okay, keep going. What was the second thing? Secondly, once you make your way to the rabbit hole with the funds, it's go time. I trust that you understand what I mean by that. Yeah, I've got it. Pretty self-explanatory, Paul. Alright, just remember, once you leave to see Alice, her information will be your only priority. No more distractions and no more side work. I will busy myself cancelling your remaining jobs and smoothing any ruffled feathers. Okay, anything else? Just that you need to be sure before committing to this. Time is important. A great dragon wants us dead, and that is not a thing to take lightly. But you shouldn't return to the rabbit hole until you're prepared to act. If you have any doubts, then I'd urge you to wait. I'm ready! He breathes a sigh of relief. Excellent. The password is Vulcingen. Once you're en route to the rabbit hole with the funds for Alice's payment, I will cancel the team's remaining obligations. Understood. I have to say, Wolf, this lifts an enormous weight off my shoulders. When Monica brought you on board, I was initially unsure about you. I would never have said that to anyone else, of course, but I kept you under a watchful eye. I can see now that I needn't have doubted her judgment. She chose her successor well. Now please, go fetch the information from Alice. He claps a hand on your shoulder. We're one step closer to surviving this mess. Transfer 50k! Vulcingen. Vulcingen. Wasn't it? Vulclingen. Vulclingen. No. The funds disappear from your account. Moments later, a message pops up on the screen. Transfer complete. Sitting in its dock on the keyboard, a green LED blooms to life on Alice's cred stick. The trigger has been pulled. The rabbit hole awaits. And no one wants to talk to me. And if no one wants to talk to me, that means we're going to the rabbit hole. But as with all the best things in life, you're going to have to wait. Because I'm going to end the stream now, and we will deal with the rabbit hole tomorrow. I don't know how much is left of this game, to be honest. Feels like we're drawing to a conclusion, but whether that is the next session or I have a few more to go, we'll see. But thank you very much for hanging around, guys. I appreciate it no end. You've all been wonderful, and I hope to see you again very soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.